Hey everybody, it's me Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. Today I'm making a healthy and delicious dish of cauliflower fried rice with some chicken. Take a look at what I got over here. For my spices, I got some salt and pepper and some red chili flakes. I got my typical Asian ingredients, my hoisin sauce, low sodium soy sauce, sesame oil, rice vinegar, and I'm using some sake. I got here some canola oil to cook with. And for my vegetables, I got some fresh ginger, some garlic, one small onion. I got 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I washed it already. I got some butter, a little orange juice, 3 eggs. And for the cauliflower rice, I'm using a frozen bag. This is from Trader Joe's. This stuff is really great. It already comes with some vegetables in it. But you could just use regular rice cauliflower, the fresh kind from produce. Every supermarket has it now, so it's very, very easy to get. Alright, so as always, first thing I want to do, I got to prep my vegetables. I'll start with the onion first, and I'm just going to cut off the ends here. I'll cut it in half, same as I always do with my onions. I'm going to peel the outside, and this is just going to be, I don't need to make this too small. It's just going to be a rough chop here, so I'm just going to cut down this way and make some nice chunks. So my onion's rough chopped. Now I want to work on this ginger, and what I do is I'll just cut on one end and just start to peel the skin with my chef knife here, and keep doing this until there's no more skin. Okay, so this looks pretty good. For my garlic, I'm just going to cut the stem end off. And then I'm just going to give this a good smash at the end of my board here. And I'll take that out, right out of the paper. Okay, so I want a nice fine mince on my ginger and garlic. And normally I'll use this microplaner and kind of just grate it. But with this new chef knife, I got the Chinese style kitchen knife. I can do it with this, and I'll just take my ginger and really give this a firm smash. Okay? And then I'll do the same with the other piece of ginger. And then what you can do is just start to chop it this way. Just a rough chop it first on both pieces of ginger. So now I'll do the same with my garlic. I'll make sure it's nice and smashed with my chef knife. And then I'm going to put them together, and I'll show you how to chop them. Okay, now I bring the garlic and the ginger together, and I'm just going to start chopping. So I'm going to keep chopping this until it's a nice fine mince. And it really, the smell of the ginger is great. And garlic and ginger is really like the building blocks of Asian cooking. It's kind of like the Italian version of garlic and onions. Okay, this looks good. And then I love this knife because I can just pick up so much stuff at once. I'll just set it aside into a bowl here. Alright, so for my chicken, I just want to trim any excess fat. And a lot of times you get this corner here on the bottom side of the breast, and it's got a lot of connective tissue. I'm just going to cut that out. We won't use that. And then what I'll do is I'll just cut this in half and open it up. That looks good. And I'm just going to cut here just some thin strips. Okay, so to cook everything today, I'm using a cast iron skillet. And I've learned the hard way when it comes to making Asian food, stir fry, whatever it is, fried rice, the wok really isn't ideal for cooking at home. The wok is very sloped, it has a small bottom, and what happens is that bottom part gets really hot and the sides don't really heat up, and you end up burning stuff. Whereas in the Chinese kitchen, the wok sits inside the burner and the heat goes all around so that all sides and the bottom of the wok are hot. And that's why it works for them. This is the perfect pan for cooking Asian food at home. The non-stick cast iron with a nice long handle, and I like this flat wooden spoon, spatula, to make sure that things don't stick. So I'm going to heat this up and we'll start with the chicken. So I'm just going to put some all-purpose flour and lightly coat my chicken, and that's really just going to help the sauce to cling to the chicken. Okay, my pan's starting to smoke. I'm going to add a decent amount of canola oil to make sure this doesn't stick. And I'm going to come in first with all that ginger and garlic and just give it a quick toss. Now I just want to get this ginger and garlic cooking for just about 60 seconds. Be careful you don't burn it, just to kind of release the essential oils and some of the flavor. And then I'm going to come right in on top with all my chicken. Alright, so I turned my pan up to medium high, and if the pan looks too dry, just come in with a little tiny bit more oil. So I'm just keeping this chicken moving around in the pan, and if it starts to stick a little bit, that's why I use this flat bottom spoon, just scrape it off the bottom. Alright, so this looks good. The first thing I want to add is a little bit of the sake, a little sesame oil, some rice vinegar, and I'm going to let that kind of boil up, and it'll help me scrape off the bottom of the pan and get all these bits up. Alright, so this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add some of the low sodium soy sauce and the orange juice and a nice tablespoon of the hoisin sauce. And I'll just stir this together. I'm just going to cook this for a couple minutes till the sauce comes together and the chicken is cooked through. And then for a little bit of heat, if you like it, I'm going to add some red chili flakes. Alright, so this looks great. My chicken is done. I'm just going to transfer it to a serving bowl and cover it with some foil. And in the meantime, when I'm done with that, I'm going to clean out this pan and we'll start making the cauliflower fried rice. Alright, so for my eggs, I'm just going to give it a pinch of salt and some fresh cracked pepper. I got my same cast iron pan heating up, and that's the great thing about those cast irons. You can wipe them right out in 2 seconds and it's clean and ready to go. I'm going to mix these up pretty good. And what you want to do is you just want to make sure that you add enough of the canola oil so that your eggs don't stick. You need a good amount. You need about a tablespoon. I'm just going to add my eggs right in. So once your eggs are scrambled, just set them aside. So again, I quickly wiped out my cast iron skillet, and I got my pan heating up to medium high this time. I want some high heat. I'm going to come in with the onions first. Okay, so once these onions start to soften a little bit and start to take on a little bit of color, I'm going to add this bag of the cauliflower rice. So I turn the heat up to high, and what I want the cauliflower to start to soften and defrost and start to take on a little bit of color in the pan. Alright, so this looks pretty good. I'm going to add the butter first and let that melt. Just a little pinch of salt and some pepper. Alright, now a little bit of the sake. Just a touch of the soy sauce and a little bit of rice vinegar. Alright, and the sake really gives it a good flavor. They use that in the hibachi places with their fried rice. And just cook this until the liquid is all evaporated. And this looks pretty good. And I'll just add back the eggs. Okay, I just want to try this for seasoning real quick. And it just needs a touch more soy sauce. And my rice is done, less than 10 minutes. And I'm just going to transfer it to a serving dish. Alright, so my cauliflower fried rice is done. I'm ready to give it a try. So you can see how beautiful my my cauliflower rice looks. And very, very affordable too. The whole bag with the vegetables already in it was only $3.49. So this is a really cheap, healthy, and delicious dinner. I got some of that garlic and ginger flavored chicken. But before I put that on, I like to put a little bit of duck sauce on top of the rice. Just like this. Okay. And now for some of my chicken. And if you wanted to garnish it, you could put some scallions on top. I'm gonna have it just like that. So you could use I use chopsticks or sometimes just use a fork. And let me give this a try. Incredibly good. Nothing against Chinese takeout places, but this is way better. And very, very good for you. Low carb with the cauliflower in place of the white rice. It's full of flavor. You really got to check this out. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Chris Smith. Look for me. The description is DiGiovanna Family Recipes. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching the video.